Hey decision makers, today's episode is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to start a podcast. Let me explain. One, it's free. Boom. Amazing right off the bat, right? Two, there's a creation tool that allows you to edit your recordings right on your phone or computer. If what has stopped you from starting a podcast is that you think it would be too complicated, Anchor makes it easy for you to publish your first episode today, even if you're not techie. Number three, Anchor will distribute your episodes for you at a click of a button. The moment I hit publish, I'm on 9 different platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, and many more. Number four, the other amazing thing about Anchor is that you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, meaning you can start making money from your podcast on day one. Anchor is everything you need to start a podcast in one place. With that being said, if you have ever wanted to start a podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey decision makers, today's episode is all about your energy and how to cleanse it so that you can get better sleep. Welcome to the Deep Dive into Health podcast, where each month we dive deep into a health topic such as sleep, productivity, sex, and diet, to name a few, with the goal of becoming the best version of ourselves with daily interviews. Now, before we get started, repeat after me. I play all out. I see opportunities where others see impossibility. I contribute to something bigger than myself. I stay focused and take massive action. I am unstoppable. I am a decision maker. Hey decision makers, today's episode is brought to you by Audible. If you haven't heard of Audible, it's the easiest way to listen to audiobooks. If you don't have an Audible account currently, you can get a free audiobook today and a 30-day free trial to Audible as well. If you don't like it, which I doubt it, you can cancel before the 30 days are up and still keep the book. Isn't that amazing? There's a huge range of titles available, but I highly recommend you read Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's the closest thing to a must read. Learn an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. Audiobooks are a great tool. We're constantly on the move, right? Well, with Audible, there's no need to sit down. You can listen while you're driving, exercising, taking a shower, pretty much anything. My favorite is while I'm doing chores around the house, like cleaning dishes. I honestly now look forward to putting clothes away because it's my time to learn. Another great thing about Audible is the ability to listen across several devices without losing your spot. I don't know about you, but I hate when I lose my spot in my book. Get your free audiobook and start your free 30-day Audible trial by going to audibletrial.com/John. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/YOHN. All right, decision makers, before we kick into today's episode, I have a special gift just for you. For many years, I learned. I would read books and take courses, but my life was still the same. Over and over, I would hear the quote, knowledge is power. And then one day I heard Tony Robbins say, knowledge is not power. And it hit me like a lightning bolt. Knowledge is not power. It's what you do with that knowledge and the actions that you take that will change your life. It took me years, but now I have an action-taking system, and my life has never been the same. I believe this will change your life too. Go get your free action-taking system at johndiaz.com. Again, that's YOHNDIAZ. Once again, that's YOHNDIAZ.com and download your free gift. Oh, and you'll also receive a weekly email with a summary of what the episodes for that week are going to be all about. Hey decision makers, and welcome to the Dive Deep into Health podcast. My name is John Diaz, and today we are talking with Ellen Morano. Ellen's goal is to teach you actionable steps to achieve a holistic mind, body, and soul. Ellen is also a certified Pranic healer and certified Pranic healing instructor in Los Angeles, California. Hey Ellen, welcome to the Dive Deep into Health podcast.
Thank you for having me, John. And I'm so grateful to be here. And I'm so happy you found me in Marketplace.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. So the first way that we get started with the podcast, I'd like to connect you to my audience. And Ellen, just share with us, what are you most grateful for right now?
I'm so grateful that I really went into my spiritual path of healing, because everything just coincided with the present situation. Like in my healing modality, we do remote healing. So the lockdown didn't affect me at all, because my clients continue, even though we do healing over the phone and we do healing over the Zoom. Right. And then, so another thing, I'm so grateful that being in the healing world for 27 years and getting to marketing last year with Dean, Josie, and Tony, everything just went merged together, that I was able to fulfill my mission. Not just sitting here waiting for clients to reach out to me, waiting for who is receptive, but now I'm looking for people and trying to let people know how energy works. Energy healing is very beneficial to each one of us, because everything starts in the energy body before it happens in our physical body.
Oh,
So
I
if
love
there are
that.
illnesses, if there are issues, so first it comes to your thought. You think it's just your thought, but actually those are negative energies sitting in your aura.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, so we're definitely gonna get a lot more into that, because that was an amazing start. Now the second question that I love to ask is, what are you most excited for right now? What's getting you just excited today?
I'm so excited because today is our 225th day of daily Zoom meditation.
How many? Sorry.
225th day.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
every day at 10 o'clock, I'm in front of the camera, because people still come even though it's 200 days already. So I thought my friends would ask me, are you still in Zoom? I said, well, I show up, but 20 people still show up needing help. So that's the 10 a.m. we do self-healing and we do meditation.
Wow.
The other thing I'm so excited of is learning Dean and Tony's marketing, and my teachers' principles, just put it in play. And now I I was brave enough to make a challenge, which is upcoming. I have
Wow.
a 7-day stress-free challenge on November 5 to November 11, which is only 30 minutes each day. And then I have my mastermind already live in Marketplace, which is Breathe Easy, Stress-Free Mastermind, which runs it's a 5-week program with 4 hours each week. I just want people to know how they can take care of themselves.
That's awesome. That's
In our
awesome.
modality, we don't make people dependent on us. It's for them to have tools that once they wake up, they have simple tools. After shower, they have simple tools. In the middle of the day, if they're on stress, they have simple tools.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
before they sleep, that's the sleep portion. They have a tool.
Perfect. So let's go ahead and get into that. But right before we get into the sleep and how you can help us, make sure that we sleep better, I want to know more about your story, right? So before you became this person that's helping others, that expert with energy and how to manifest their energy to make sure that they're helping their health, who were you before that? What got you into this?
Okay, so I'm in the accounting background.
Wow. Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yes, I'm in the accounting background, but the body grew up with asthma.
Mm,
The body had suffered asthma since I was young. It went away when I was 11, and then I work in the animation industry, the cartoon world,
really
the
interesting.
animation. Yes, I'm not an artist, but I'm a production. I'm in production staff, so we follow up the scenes, we follow the deadlines, and then stress level was taller than me, so that's why asthma came back. And I was like, oh my God. So we have a very, very good pay in that company, and I can afford 3 pulmonary doctors. Aside from our insurance, I was able to get 2 more specialists to get to know what's going on with this asthma. But aside from that, Philippines is a Catholic country. I would pray a lot every day. I would go to church. Please help me. I need some alternative, because I love to travel. And out of nowhere, my uncle priest called me and he said, I learned pranic healing. Maybe this will help you. So you know, accountant usually have to analyze first.
Of
You know,
course.
like, is this true? Is this real? But the fact that he is my uncle, and the fact that I prayed, that sure enough, this is the answer to my prayer. And so I went to the bookstore. He said, look for the book. I went to the book. I look at the, I bought the book, and the book says energy healing. I was like, oh, you know, like when you ask for something, you want something to gulp in, you want something to soak your body in, something topical.
Yeah.
And I said, like, well, I prayed, and this is an answered prayer. So I just stick to that principle. I look at the book, energy healing. I thought energy is just in the fluorescent light, right? I was like, but you know, this is an answered prayer. I just stick to that. I look at the book. In the back of the book, there was an office address. So that's the address of the founder's office.
Interesting.
So I took his class 1993, and it's a 2-day class. During the 2-day class, he did healing sessions, and that's the day I pivot. Everything changed 360 degrees on me.
Yeah. Can I stop you there for a second? Just because I feel like that moment is so important, and for so many people listening to your story, like we can emphasize on that. What was that big aha moment that you took from the healings and that 2-day class? What was the thing that made you in your mind shift? Like, this is the pivot I need to take.
Yeah. So after the healing, I was like, oh my God, I can breathe. And I was like, this is the answer to my prayers. And I was just like jumping with joy. And you know, the break time was so long. So he said, oh, you can take a nap before the class will start in another hour. I took a nap. When I woke up, all I could say is, this is it. I was able to breathe. My chest was so open. And not only that, so many visions came to my mind. And you know, I'm an accounting person. I want everything like 1 + 1 = 2. It cannot be 1 + 1 = 11. I was like, what's this? I find people talking to me about their passion, their vision. How do they get that? But so many things came up to my mind. You have to do this, do that. I was like, this is so exciting, and I'm on. I'm in. I want to do this. And after that, I said, I want to knock on all my neighbors who have difficulty sleeping and breathing, because I was able to breathe. And even in a short nap, it was a deep sleep. I was like, oh my God, how breathing affects sleep, and how sleep can really make you feel so vibrant. And I was like, this is it. That's the aha moment, I could say. Up to now, that's already 27 years. That's always my story.
That's amazing. And it's so interesting to see too, right? Because we all have those limiting beliefs and different things that kind of stop us in our tracks. And, you know, we kind of hear society tell us that that's the way. And then someone like your uncle, luckily for you, comes along and says, hey, try this alternative thing. And, you know, especially when we hear, and I've been there too, you hear energy or meditating or things like that, and you're like, I mean, what's the logic behind it, right? We always want to know the science before we know like the emotion of it. And it's just such a beautiful story, especially like, you know, you having that moment to sleep and just like waking up and waking up so excited to want to help others and serve others. Like, more people need to hear this, and that's just such a beautiful thing. Now, what I would love to know next is, so you go through this 2-day class, you sleep amazing. What becomes your plan when you leave, and like what obstacles did you encounter along the way?
And so I was already in the animation company then, and the animation work is 24/7. And so, and said, oh my God, I'm so grateful. I want to do so much things, but I'm limited to doing that work. Like animation, we have deadlines. And I have my little boy then. He was just 6 years old then. Now he's 33. And so I have so many visions, but no matter what, I said, you know, this will happen. So what I did, I took so much of the classes of the teacher, because my husband said, why are you taking those? Those are so pricey. I said, this is my form of gratitude to the teacher. So I took most of his classes, and then I understand more like okay, this is temporary. Your work will lead you to where you want to go. So because the work is so financially rewarding, and I was like, okay, so I'll just be patient. I keep practicing. I keep offering healing to friends and families. And they find, because this is non-touch, so they find me like, what do you do? But I feel good. So the perspective in life totally changed. That's why I tell my clients, taking the class is already 80% of the healing. So fast forward, after that, I migrated here. I thought I'll just enjoy life in California, getting a 9-hour job. Out of nowhere, the Pranic healing brochure landed on my desk for printing. I was like, oh my God. But I took off the spiritual classes, and the back of my mind, I said, wow, I think this is one of the instant I learned in class, that one day there will be an opportunity for you to do your practice which you were wishing for, right? And I was like, oh my God, maybe this is the one. I'm so excited. And yes, that's that day, Master Ko, that was Master Ko's brochure. His office was even an hour away. Why did that brochure landed on my desk when there could be so many printing shops,
Of course,
in his office, right? And so from then on, we connected. And yes, now I became a full-time pranic healer. So there's really like joy. It's a journey, you know. Sometimes we're so excited with one thing, and then it just like, boom, it fall in a cliff. But learning all the principles the teacher had, I was like, wow, this made it consistent, and it made my practice for 27 years consistent.
wow, that's amazing. I love your story. That was so energizing too. You gave me energy through it. Now, Ellen, the next part of the podcast that I love to get to is just your teachings. And it's about 3 to 5 breakthroughs that you can give us that we could take right now and start acting upon, that you feel will give us the most bang for our buck.
The pranic healing is non-touch. So we emphasize energetic hygiene to everybody who's not ready to take the class. The first thing is you have to clean your energy body, the aura, every day and many times a day if you can. Okay? So one is cutting cords. Every time you interact with people, it creates a bridge, right? It creates a bridge, and that bridge is like a bridge, you know? So your energy is accessible to the person you're talking to, and there's an exchange of energetic energy there. Lucky if the person you're talking to is a positive person.
Yes,
What
very lucky.
if the person you're talking to has so many negative emotions, like a roller coaster? And then after your conversation, sometimes you could feel like, or anybody has this experience, after you talk to somebody who's not so positive, you feel like, oh my God, why am I feeling this? I slept well, I ate, I had a good breakfast, and suddenly my energy just changed. It's because that interaction is not good. And if you don't cut cords, and if you don't clean your aura, you bring them to sleep, and what happened? You don't sleep well, because that thought form that the person has been telling you, and usually negative, it's like a broken record. Like, oh my God, why is this person telling me that I'm not nice? You know, I don't look good. You know, it's basically, it's not your thoughts. It is a negative thought form or an entity, like a parasite, you know? Can you visualize it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
I love the visual.
Sitting on your aura, and that's the music playing on your head.
Wow. Okay, so that would be tip number 1,
cords.
Cutting the cords. And how specifically would you cut the cord? Like, let's say we just had a conversation.
Okay. So your palm, face your palm in front of you. So put your palm on top of your head and all the way to the sex chakra. The sex chakra is where the pubic bone is.
Perfect.
Why? Because if people like you because you're intelligent, they connect to your brain. If they connect to you because you're so vocal, it connects to your throat. And then you feel like, right? And then if somebody is so beautiful, they connect to your sex chakra. If they're envious of your finances, they connect to your tailbone, because that's a prosperity chakra. So you have to do this. Just imagine all negative cords attached to my front and back body, just like that.
Perfect. Oh wow, that's amazing. I love that. I'm using that starting today.
Yeah, every after your talk, like after a conversation. Of course, you don't have to say, I have to cut my cords. I told that in my class and they were all laughing. Just be discreet. Oh my God, it's so hot here. Or turn your back. Be discreet, be nice. Because my teacher's teaching, loving kindness is always the priority. You cannot tell, I just want to be honest with you, and then you say not so nice words because just for the sake of being honest, right? There's so many ways to express your criticism in a nicest way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So cutting cords is one. So we're talking about energetic hygiene. Okay,
that's kind of like
one is
I love when you mention that because I feel like a lot of times I see this all the time where people are like, oh, I'm not trying to be rude, but, and I was like, whatever comes after that but is rude. Or I'm not trying to be negative, but that's such great because I know personally in my life I felt that where, maybe someone came in and vented to me because they had a bad day at work, and it's like now I feel like I'm carrying all that negative energy that they had and they received through work. That was amazing. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's kick it into number 2.
Okay, number 2 is a salt bath or a salt scrub. If you're near the ocean, jump into the ocean as many times as you can.
Interesting. And why is that?
Green energy. So my teacher is a chemical engineer. So he delved into detail. So pranic healing is also called clairvoyantly validated, like people who can see energy. So it's non-touch. We have movements. But for a clairvoyant, they can see what's going on. So for us, we don't have to analyze, just like follow the techniques because they have proven it. They have tested it before. He tested it before he put it in the book.
Gotcha.
Okay. So he said, salt is green energy. Green breaks down disease and negative energies. So do you experience sitting by the ocean just for an hour? The sea breeze has negative ions and it has green energy. That's why just sitting by the ocean, you feel like, oh, I'm so relaxed. It's because even the sea breeze cleanses your aura.
I love that.
Okay.
And I felt
so
that.
What is the salt? What is the salt bath? You have to imitate the salinity of the ocean. So you have to put 3 pounds of salt in the bathtub and 10 drops of lavender oil. So, okay, the salt, this is the usual question. What kind of salt? We don't use fancy salt. We even use a water softener salt, the one that they put in the snow. Yeah, that's simple. It's not, you don't need a fancy salt because you need a sodium chloride, just any kind of salt, a rock salt, or even the Morton table salt will do.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so that's the salt bath. The salt scrub is you mix that 1 pound of Morton salt. Can you know the Morton salt, the one in the
absolutely.
box?
Table salt.
You put like 10 drops of lavender oil and a body wash. Mix it like a paste. It's a salt scrub. There's so many fancy salt scrubs out there, but it's fancy. So if you have Trader Joe's there, you do have Trader Joe's here. There's a lavender salt scrub, but it's so oily. But you can, you can put jojoba oil, whatever your choice, because some people complain that it's the salt is drying the skin. Yeah, but if you value energetic hygiene, no matter what, you will put anything in your body, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to feel good, you want to feel happy, and you vibrate. So that's the thing. That when we use lavender oil, it makes you vibrate higher. So when somebody is talking to you nasty, it was just like, oh, really? But if you vibrate a lower, right, likes attracts likes. So if you have anger energy and the person you're talking to in the grocery store or whoever you interact with has the same energy, irritability is millisecond, right? Will happen in millisecond. Like, oh, you haven't started yet, but you feel like, oh my God, this person is not so nice, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
But so the key is, like the teacher said, we're still in the physical world. You cannot say like you can select people who you like to talk to.
Of course, yes, that's great.
The thing is, you just have to vibrate higher so you're able to interact with any kinds of energy. So likes attracts like. And yeah, if your energy is loving, the other people cannot resist.
I like that. I like seeing why. Perfect. And if you could give us just one more tip What would it
One
be?
more tip: salt bath and meditation.
Meditation.
Meditation is, but this specific meditation is, I would like to suggest, it's called meditation on twin hearts.
In twin hearts?
Yeah, meditation on twin hearts. That's what we do every 10 a.m., which people love. That's why people still show up, although it's already our 224th day yesterday. And in a few minutes, I'll be on board now on Zoom. So why twin hearts?
Mm-hmm.
Because meditation should be healing, right? But twin hearts is the physical heart and the divine heart. The physical heart is the heart. You want to love somebody. But you know the chakra. So this is the throat chakra. This is the heart chakra below. And the next is the solar plexus chakra in between the rib cage. The solar plexus chakra is the chakra of emotions, both positive and negative. If there's so much negativity, it's from the solar plexus. So if the solar plexus is pregnant with negative emotions, however you want to love somebody, it's impossible. Because if the solar plexus is big with negativities, the heart chakra is small. If you activate your heart chakra, whether you like it or not, the solar plexus will just vomit it out, the negative energies, right? So twin hearts meditation is like physical heart. First, you bless the earth. Bless your family and friends. Sometimes if people have been angry for a long time, I cannot feel the love. First, okay, imagine your loved ones. If not, imagine a beautiful flower. That's one way to activate your heart. Something that melts like, oh my God, I miss that beautiful flower. That activates your heart, okay? And so the meditation twin hearts, first is we bless the earth. We bless the earth with love from our hearts. But first we have to activate our heart, right? Imagine the happiest moment or whatever triggers your heart to open. Like you melt, like, oh my God, first time I fall in love. First time I feel this love, you know? Because you cannot give what you don't have. So you activate your heart and then you bless the earth with pink energy. And then, so the teacher uses the prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi. So as you bless the earth with pink light from your heart, next you connect your heart and your crown chakra. When you put your attention while meditating, it's a guided meditation. It's in my website also. So when you connect the heart and the crown, clairvoyantly, they saw gold light coming out of your hands to Mother Earth. That's what we do when there's calamities, when there's like chaos. So that's why we started the meditation Twin Hearts via Zoom since March 23. That's why it's 223 days. Wow. Every day. So just by doing that, as a divine healing energy pours through your crown, it cleanses your chakras. It cleanses your aura. That's why after the meditation, you feel like, oh my God. So most feedback I got during that 10 o'clock, even first timers, they would say, this is so addictive because you don't have to try yourself to do. I'm not into talk therapy, right? Because I know I've been practicing this for 27 years. So, but I see people who are even brand new, first timers in my podcast, in my daily Zoom meditation. They feel the relief. And you feel like you're being, so that's what we call energetic shower.
I love
meditation is the energetic shower. So for people, it's like, oh, I cannot meditate because it's so much noise. Just sit there and even listen. The energy will just flow. Energy is energy. You cannot say like, oh, don't come to me. There could be some blockage, but whether you like it or not, you know, you go to the swimming pool or you go out in the rain, you cannot say, rain, don't wet me. You say, get wet, right? Yeah. The same with the energy. Even you, oh, I don't know, I don't believe in this energy. If you don't believe in gravity, that's the problem, right?
Of course. Oh, I love that. And I think that's such great for the audience to listen to. You know, a lot of the times, and I want to connect it to something you said at the beginning about your practice, right? You've been doing it for 27 years now, correct? right? Like
Yes.
even though, well, so there's 2 points that I want to make. One, if you can find a great teacher, someone that's been doing this for years, it kind of shortcuts your time to doing it, right? But the second most important thing that I heard from that is that it takes time, right? You're not going to sit down the first time and be a master meditator. And I feel like a lot of people, that's what stops them from meditating, that they sit down and they focus, let's say, on a mantra, and they get distracted and they're like, oh, I'm not good at meditating. It's like, no one was born good at meditating. Like, you have to go through the practice and you have to do it daily. You have to do it the 225 days, and you see the change that goes through your life, right? It's so amazing. But Ellen, you've given us amazing things. Now it is time to finalize this and end it up. And this is the last part of the podcast. It's the lightning round. They're just quick hits. I ask you a certain thing, just give me about a sentence response back. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Perfect. So the first one is, what's your favorite quote?
If there's a block or big rock in front of you, you go under, you go up, you go sideways. Don't let that rock stop you.
I love that.
Always find a way. Always find a way. That's my teacher's, that's Grandmaster Choa's teaching.
That's beautiful.
That's
and I guess with energy, that makes sense, right? Because with energy, like let's say a sound is a sound wave, even though I might put my hand in front of my mouth, the energy goes around that blockage. So I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Perfect. If you had to go, the question number 2 is, what book has had the biggest impact in your life and why?
The Miracles of Pranic Healing.
Beautiful. I love that. All right, perfect. Question number 3 is going to be, knowing everything you know now, what advice would you go back and give yourself? You know, back when you still had your asthma and you had to be, even before your uncle maybe told you about pranic healing, like what would you go up to yourself and tell you, like, hey, this is my advice to you?
Don't wait until you get to the edge and just like, what shall I do? Right? Don't wait until you get to the edge that disease happens. Don't wait until you get to the cliff. Like, what's your choice? Okay. So most people come to me that the body is already sick. Well, if you can get into this when the body is healthy, the more you can help people. And the teacher's teaching is, the more you give, the more you receive. It's not only financial. The more you give healing, the more you are healed.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That's beautiful. And I think that's so beautiful. So guys, please listen to this, right? Don't wait until you're at the edge to get help. If you can feel that your body's not, like, listen to your body. I love that. You know, your body tells you so many things. We have such a powerful mind, body, and soul, and it tries to communicate with us. And if we could just listen, right, and get the help that we need, like, it's so much easier then, right? It's so much harder when you're at the rock bottom and you have to climb all the way up. So that I think that was beautiful. And the last question we have for you today, Ellen, is, what's the one question you ask yourself the most?
Don't wait for people to come to you. You have to reach out to people.
Ellen, this is the last part of the podcast. This is where you can share with us, you know, how can we support you? Where's the best way to find you? What kind of communities do you have? Please tell us where to follow you.
Okay, so you can go to cleanprana.com. My 225th day meditation, which is today, link is all there by Zoom. And it's 10 a.m. PST. And I have a private Facebook group called Breathe Easy with Ellen Morano. I do Facebook Live every week, teaching what I've been telling here and even more, you know. So we are givers. So we have so much information. But of course, we train ourselves to give you bite size that you don't get overwhelmed, right? And at least the basic things to do every day to get out of this stress and, you know, surmount every difficulties. And then the next is my mastermind, Breathe Easy, Stress-Free Mastermind, which is in the marketplace.
Love that. Perfect. And guys, I will share all these things in the show notes, so don't worry. I'll have all the links. I'll get everything from Ellen. Ellen, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I really appreciate it.
John, thank you so much for having me. However I can help, however I can touch people's lives, however I can open their heart, because that's the important thing these days. Open our hearts so we don't get succumbed to this negativity around us.
I love that, Ellen. Thank you so much. All right, decision makers, another amazing podcast in the books. That was amazing. Ellen, thank you so much for everything that you shared with us. And as always, guys, I love to leave you with 3 actionable items, 3 things that you can do right now so you can start taking action and becoming that decision maker. So the first one that I took from this was cut the cord. After every single conversation, whether it's good or bad, just cut the cord and make sure that you leave that conversation apart and that you don't bring on someone's negative energy with you. I thought that was amazing. The second thing that I took was her free meditations questions, definitely go jump in. I'll definitely leave the show in the, I'll leave the link in the show notes. But jump into a meditation practice, and hers is free. Is the Twin Hearts meditation. Twin Hearts, that was amazing. I'm definitely going to be jumping on that myself. And the third thing that I took was, as soon as you can, make a date where you can go and jump in the beach. Go jump into some salt water and the impacts that it's going to live your life. So if you can do that today, actually send me a message or something from the beach. Let me know that you jumped in the beach, because you get double the points for that. I'm definitely not going to be able to do it today, but maybe tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and do that. But with that, decision makers, I hope you have an amazing day. And remember, as always, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. It's what you do with the knowledge, right? What action you take based upon the things that you learn, that your life will truly change. So go out there and start taking massive action, and that's how you will become a decision maker. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't take your time lightly, and I appreciate that you made the decision to listen to the podcast today. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the show, and finally, please take a minute to rate and review the podcast. Once again, thank you for listening, and remember, you are a decision maker, and you are just confidence away.